Yeah, okay. I looked and I saw what you're doing. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
What do you mean?
React.clone element with the props.
Oh, come on. Give me a break. Like, what? What's so bad about that? I didn't know a better way to do that just because and I wanted to inject that prop down.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, no.
If I use context and a hook, then it I don't know where it got called from, so
Right.
I don't know what path you're at when you call it.
Yeah. The other interface that I've seen people use is
Right.
And it doesn't really matter that much, but you will take a performance penalty for cloning.
Right.
Like for the lifetime of the app is something like this, which, honestly does kind of like gross me out a little bit, but
Oh yeah. I'm following. I don't like that, but yeah, I see what you. I know that pattern.
Yeah, it always looks like, what am I doing with a function here, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't
seem
really
like that. Okay. The sinker. This is all not very important stuff. Main magic is in this thing. There's the bake function. What I was able to do was, how do I hide the? I was able to use the IPLD schema to walk to given an IPOM object in the schema, I can walk it and figure out how to synchronize it. The critical thing being I had to make a distinction between a historical pulse link and an actual pulse link. Historical being like, absolutely, I don't want to reinstate that because in all content addressable systems, there will be this notion of history. If you were expecting to mutate something over time and using content address, you need this historical pointer.
What distinguishes a pulse link from a historical pulse link?
A pulse link is meant to be part of the file system tree. So it's
you're pointing
part
to
of
it
now.
Right. I see what you're saying. So this is like my blogs versus somebody else's blogs.
Okay. No. Historical means not now. Yeah, that's the subtle difference.
Okay, I understand what you mean. If I were to, sorry, I guess where I'm getting caught up, there's actually like, I have this quadrant graph in my brain right now, right? Of like, I'm looking at a specific chain versus I'm looking at some other chain that's related to it, right? Now I have history and they have history. If I'm pointing at a pulse of theirs that's history, would it be a historical pulse?
No. Because if your current pulse was pointing at a historical pulse of theirs, the correct way to do that is with a non-updating hard link.
Okay.
Where the hard link points to that historical pulse, which would make it look like a actual pulse link. Because if you wanted to say what is the application state right now, it would include that pointer to the historical pulse because for some reason you've wanted to make that part of the current view.
Is there ever any case where I'm pointing to something historical, in an absolute sense, historical for someone else, but because my view is stale?
Sorry, one more time?
So, like, relative to the whole app, it's pointing at a historical pulse of some other chain, right?
Oh,
the
like
re-
you might absolutely think that your view of now turns out to be someone else's historical view.
Yes. So if I think it's a current, the only reason I'm asking this is because like I'm assuming you use the same pulse link and historical pulse link for both my chain and every other chain I'm talking about, right?
My chain and every other chain. Historical pulse links are restricted to your chain.
Okay.
You only have the idea. No, actually, that's not true. You can only access the historical pulse links of another chain from a pulse link within your own chain. So you say
Oh.
you have to start with what you say now is on the other chain, and then you can access the historical pulse links from that point on.
Mhm.
But a historical pulse link only goes from a current chain back to its previous pulses. If you're in another chain and you want to access that, you got to first go via a pulse link to that current chain.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So if it's pulse link, it's what you think is the head of the chain, basically.
And that's quite subtle but very profound, I think, in terms of content addressable systems, because it indicates these three different types of inflation you may wish for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it actually kind of makes sense to introduce it because like now you have an actual like type level ability to distinguish between what you think is stale and not.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a way to indicate stale, and that is a crucial element of all mutable content addressable systems.
Mm-hmm.
And so why I'm kind of making a big deal about this is because when you want to turn it into React props,
mm-hmm.
what you want is you want the entire app, the file system that's consistent with the current root pulse.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the validators may have moved on in children, it's not really considered canonical application state until it's part of the root pulse tree. And so when I'm syncing, in a React app, I always care about current and now,
Right.
but I don't want to auto inflate all of history.
Of course.
Right.
So, but you do always want to inflate. So give me some examples of times when I have pulse links that I'm asking the syncer to inflate. That I do want to inflate. Like, wouldn't you only have one in any given chain that you're looking at?
One pulse link? No, because all of the children of the chain are referenced by pulse link.
Right.
And so in this particular style of app, I have said that I want the full file system tree loaded into RAM.
Mm-hmm.
That may not always be the case. So in the spec document I provided, I allow you to configure some types of synchronization strategy, like lazy being an option, like full and current is what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Lazy and on demand is another way you might want to do it.
Right. And then anything in between, like, X size plus least recently used or something.
Yeah, different strategies. And then also you may want to provide a template where you're like, all of these children I want to be fully synced. These other ones can be lazy. Mix and match, all kinds of fun, right?
Right. If I see a pulse link for a child, do I always know as a parent that that's up to date?
Correct. That is part of the system constraints. If you have a child, the parent has absolute control of that child. Any changes in the state of that child, and I've separated state out into 3 different kinds. There's JSON state, which is the state of the state. Currently looking for new names for that one. The binary state and the meta state, which is the DMZ that surrounds that operates the chain. So how that all rolls up is that in the root pulse, you're able to know that, you know what, I actually have the document here, IPLD schema. In my state tree, I can actually walk the state tree from the root and see only the states of the children. And what that means is I can, at a glance, know if any state of any child altered from the previous application state. I do not need to walk all of the metadata changes to find out which were only the state changes.
Right.
So that's important for synchronization, because in a React app, I don't actually care about what all the channels are up to and all the actions flowing between them. I only care that the end resulting state alter, because that's what I want to present in React. The binary tree is just that any of the binaries change at a glance, and then the rest, the lineage, is the tree of the metadata as well.
Right. So where we're at in here,
well, in here, this is just basically I walk. If it's a historical pulse, that indicates that I don't want to inflate that. If it's a pulse link,
you do.
Then I inflate it. And so basically the thing the sync is doing is it's replacing pulse links with object references.
Object references, meaning like you can look at this thing as a whole object, basically.
It's building one massive JSON object with object references. It's using immutable maps for performance and scale, but it's basically one whopping great JSON object that gets dropped in as state atom at the top of the React tree that probably weighs about as much as a black hole, and then it just goes boom, and then you get your whole React state out of this single thing.
So like walk me through like updating a state then too.
The React state atom being updated?
Yeah, like it seems pretty clear how the bake works in terms of providing the values to the application. What does it look like when I go to change a value?
So when a pulse is updated, that indicates a change somewhere deep in the application tree, and you're saying, how does the React state atom update in reaction to that?
How do I, the other thing is, because all the UI stuff here is new to me, right?
That's what I was trying to get into it.
Right. What I'm wondering is I have the React app open and I change the value on one of the records. Like right. In the form, I assume you're using forms to push values to the chain, right? Like what's the flow look like from there?
So can I run the storybook and then?
Yeah, you should be able to. And then I'll share the result.
Yeah. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter so much.
So I'm using Yarn 1. I don't know if that's the right. Are you using Yarn 2 or 3 for your?
Yarn 1. I don't do like new things, man.
Yeah.
So this is a datum.
Okay.
This is how you do CRUD. So it just basically takes a datum with some JSON schema that represents the shape of the object, generates a form for you automatically, and then makes it all kind of just work. But every other application piece follows that, like the map here. Again, they all just take the crisp, previously known as the complex, and then react to it. So I'm not sure I'm answering your question.
Yeah, let me just run down to the bottom of datum and on change is what I'm kind of interested in. The flow back into the chain from
Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you mean. Okay, so if I see in the data folder, oh wait, this doesn't actually have it. One second. Okay, if I can, are you able to follow me? If I go to nav stories,
stories.
yeah, so what's supposed to happen within the crisp is that the actions also get inflated from the covenant and they get mapped back to dispatch. So
Right.
if I use an action within it, so if I then go into the nav component and I see how it pulls out the actions from the crisp,
Mhm.
these actions are mapped to dispatch at the root. And so the way that you know, you basically got to, when you call the action, you'll get back a promise that resolves once the action has settled with the root chain. So you can do some presentation based on their transient state to the user just by following that promise. Ultimately, what will happen is that you'll receive a new crisp once the application complex has updated, and it will reflect the changes that occurred within the complex
Right.
because of
So-
the dispatch that you did.
So you should never actually need that promise.
It can be good, and I'll show you where I made use of it under actions.jsx. It allows me to give the action button a bit of a swirl, so it's got like an indication that, hey, it's waiting, and to let the user cancel if they want to cancel the dispatch as well.
Right.
So it doesn't actually, the fact that the prop updated is difficult to use to indicate to the user that their action has completed, because it flashes at you. The change just one day it's this, next instant it's this. But the promise lets you actually be a bit more engaged with the user. So I just present, like the button grays out, goes disabled, to stop double clicking, has the swirly thing, has a cancel
Right.
button, all this, just the friendly stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately that prop comes down, and the way the syncer works is that it starts dropping new props in as soon as any new synchronization is detected.
Right.
So it doesn't wait until it's completely synchronized the application complex. It just drops the prop with as much as it has. So you can get this progressive loading type of effect within the React app, because the crisp has come in, but it has a flag on parts that it knows it hasn't finished loading. So you can
Right.
start to render. You can render early.
Right. And from the root down, I assume.
From the root down, yeah, but keep in mind that anything but the first render has a previous pulse that it can look back on and tell you what changed.
So the chain is actually wired into the storybook right now.
Yes, but only in one story. I'm in the process of backporting all of the crisp stuff back to all the other stories.
Okay.
So my plan.
My sense here is like if I can get like the chain running in a UI and understand the entry point a little bit.
If you ran Storybook and then went to the stories that are under the blockchain heading, that's the current where I'm up to.
Okay.
would you be able to maybe run the storybook and then share the tab, and then I can talk to you about the different?
Yeah. I'm
parts?
trying to init it right now. If you have my terminal open.
Oh, right.
No, that wasn't what I
Wow,
wanted.
what did you do? Oh, did you just react at? Did you just CRA my whole repo here? So
Reset. Double dashboard.
ouch. Okay, and now you need to change directory into pkg/webdos.
I wasn't even in the right one. So yarn storybook from here, right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
I did a yarn storybook init, which I think was a mistake.
Yeah.
I love storybook.
It's the greatest thing ever.
These guys at my job are. I'm gonna try and not bring it up anymore if I can help it. So I don't know why they think I care about their stupid fucking pointless business.
This is a live stream.
Okay.
Stop that.
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I shared the server in the live stream tab. Do you think that they're watching?
No, I did not.
I shouldn't. Okay. I forgot this was a live stream. Thank you for the reminder.
Do you want me to delete it?
No, it's all good.
Okay.
I shared it, so
How does that work? You mean like share it?
You go to localhost 6008.
I mean, can you share it in what you see? Are we both able to look at it?
I mean, I can share it like that if you want.
Yeah. If you share it on the screen, then I can actually see what you're seeing and indicate it, sort of talk to you about it.
Okay. Share screen there. It's a button.
Hey, there we go. Okay, so if you click on actions at the top, the actions component, click on shell. Oh, did the whole thing break, did it? Oh no, sort of loading.
Taking its time. Not throwing any errors, so.
Okay, must be just pulling down the the 20 megabyte test file. Give it a second. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do now is just roll back through all these components, and instead of using the fake data to make the old complex and drop it in as the state atom, I'm going to export. I found a way to export an archive of the application's current tree, ignoring all the history, and then I can actually use that in the engine so that I can make all these components with the live blockchain running in a pre-configured state.
Right.
And so the test data is actually an archive of blocks that gets reinflated in the browser anytime. Can you bring up the terminal, the DevTools console?
Yeah, it's open.
Okay. I just can't see it. Okay. And there's no errors there?
None that I can see. So if you...
it just reloaded all its dependencies for the first time. Right. That's probably what the... There we go. Okay. So this is all these cards are all auto-generated from the API provided by the Shell Covenant.
Okay.
And so when you click on ping, for example, if you click the ping button, so you get the friendly sort of that's using the promise.
Yeah.
but the state will update based on the crisp flowing down through the component tree.
Is it updating any state when I send the message?
Not in this example, no.
No. Okay.
But
This
if
isn't
you click
this
on-
this.
this is not connected to the blockchain yet.
Okay.
That's part of my work over the next few days. Is I'll roll back through the stack and connect everything up to a live running engine, and then what you're playing with there is what objects look like in React JSON schema form.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can send objects. I think I need to do a pass back through the API to the shell chain and then modify the API to reflect how it looks in the graphical sense, because it suddenly seems a whole lot less useful to be pinging with an object.
Yeah, this is all Chinese to me, so like I'm gonna have to play with this. Which is the one in here that actually has the app wired in? Is it app?
App shows the full application, but that's not under yeah, okay, it's all broken. Okay, under down the bottom under crisp, under blockchain crisp,
Blockchain.
the very bottom of the list.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So if you go under CRM, and that is a crisp derived navbar that pulled its headings out of the file system tree.
Okay.
And this is where I'm up to, and I'm basically pushing it back up the stack now that I have this the sinker and the crisp concept done.
Sorry, I don't freaking latency. Do you think that it would make sense for me to help like rewrite these things with the chain as like a really easy exercise for getting started? Or is that like starting way too deep?
What I think is more useful is if you try and design your own app.
Okay.
You could use these as guides, and then, you know, like I think I'm more interested in seeing if you spec out parts of the tournament organizing app or some other sort of a thing that's of interest, like the music app.
Right.
And then figure out like how do we even architect that? Like building these components is it's just work, right? Like you'll get there in the end. Whether you can architect something is a bit different, I think.
Never ever underestimate the value of like just dumb work to practice something though.
Right, that's true.
I am happy to take the database spec that I really wanted to build out for like a small part of the app that I was working on.
Okay.
And then just build that and see what it looks like in UIs. I just think that
Okay.
that feels like even more jumping in the deep end than like something that's
No,
kind
that
of
sounds better. That sounds better, right? Because it's like, well, of all the things you could want to build, is this the one? You know, solving that problem is not even related to anything we're doing.
Mhm.
And then once you've got that, being able to talk to you about how would we implement that in the system and what would be the benefits over a conventional implementation, and try to figure out some cost estimates. That's sort of where I want to get to.
Right.
But look, it's kind of whatever you want. I mean, if you want to have a poke around and play with this, great.
Yeah. So let's start something. Then is the storybook somewhere to do it? Like, where would I start an app?
In the storybook.
Would I do it as another package or as another repo altogether? Like, I'm not sure of the state of your library.
I'd say be easiest for you to make it a new package in the monorepo.
Okay.
So there's already one sort of there under consumer. It's not really up to date, but you're welcome to fork it. And then
forking in this case being copying.
Sorry. Copying into a new folder. Yes. Sorry. My bad.
Okay.
And then I would say that you would want to start your own storybook and build out the components one at a time, whilst at the same time building out your covenant.
So close the storybook, CD. I'm not. I want to make sure that we keep an action bias if we're pairing together, because I really don't want to make you feel like I'm wasting your time.
No, you're not wasting it at all.
What does it think I've done? Are you following my terminal right now?
Yep. I'm watching it and I'm lost.
I am just trying to. So I copied consumer into tournament, and I accidentally made a storybook into root, which I'm now.
Yeah, looking good.
So this would be a storybook init. Learn storybook init.
Yeah.
And then do I have to provide a path within it?
Don't think so.
Doesn't seem like it. Error.
Oh, you gotta modify the package JSON.
This is the thing that needs a write-up. This is the thing that really needs a write-up. So maybe I'll take notes while I'm doing this, and we can
right, yeah, sure.
Find where the rough edges are a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, name is tournament. I'm going to just model like one bracket, maybe something that I have a documentation for.
Okay, cool.
Does the version have to match, or are you doing like a rolling? No, okay. Pardon me as I learn how to spell again. No author. Okay. That's right, pulling in WebDOS.
Yeah, that's cool.
Am I still sharing this? Share. Is it not Yarn's storybook to run the storybook I just made?
You didn't complete init.
No?
No, init failed.
Oh, okay.
Man, I can't wait to make a content addressed package manager, because this game wouldn't happen. We'd be running already.
Yeah. Everything would already be saved, right?
Yeah. Because the package JSON would just be pointers by chain ID to a particular pulse. And then you just go and it just pulls in whatever blocks it doesn't have when it needs them on the fly.
And everything, like, it's sort of like, what's it called? Nix, where it builds immutable build artifacts.
Mm-hmm. But then
So,
also
like,
when you're loading in the browser, you don't need to do anything different again either. It's just the browser can pull in. Anyway, whatever.
Well, I guess with the ESM modules, that's kind of cool. You can.
Yeah. Right? You just like.
Oh, I have a button and a header and a page.
Sweet. Okay,
These are the ones that come by default, right? So,
Yep.
okay. So if I were to go into stories,
Yep.
and I want to just delete everything here, then, right?
Well, you could. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Button, header, and page. I guess keep one so that I remember what the story syntax is like. Uh, and then take this out and I'll share my screen again.
And then you probably want to just copy in. Copy in the engine story, and then resolve all your imports from that, I would say.
Okay. Copy in the engine story from WebDOS, right?
Yep.
Playbook, source, stories. It's not called engine stories in the list. Blockchain engine stories.
Oh, sorry. Yep, my bad.
So paste. Oh, I do need to put it in the same folder, right? Like, well, hold on. Let me just look at the actual file. Engine.stories.jsx title is just engine. And now it's going to bitch because I don't have all the actual stuff here, right?
No, that's fine. So I can replace that for you. This is a great way to work.
It's actually kind of fun.
You don't need app. And you will need to install prop times. But it'll probably just find it by hoisting, so you could just be a dirty dog and just not.
EKG. All the three-letter things got to get used to more. So npm prop types. I think we should switch to TypeScript. I've been using it a little bit more recently.
Okay, cool.
Debug is in Node Core.
Yeah, debug will be in there.
Okay.
Sorry, Node Core. It's not Node Core. It's just that because the monorepo has all its packages hoisted, debug will resolve because it's required in other packages. That's why. And you can replace this with test. I've made a test thing for you here. You don't need to continue with that.
Okay. Testing where? Where are you? I've lost you.
Where am I?
Oh,
I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you will want is now you're going to want to. This is where you're going to write your covenant.
Okay.
So you would say something like.
It's just an object.
API, yep. I would do some other stuff. I'll put a debugger in. I don't know if you want to call it the whole thing, whatever. This reducer needs to be asynchronous, of course, and we'll say debug. Kind of lazy. Why is does it not? Oh, we don't have auto formatting going on here.
Let me check. I can't figure out how it decides to turn on and off extensions. So file. Oh, you never get access to somebody else's save actions. Here, I'll just save it. It'll probably format it.
God, that's
it's a real rough edge. It really kind of sucks.
That hurt. That hurts. I feel like suddenly we were this close and now we're miles apart.
Format on save. Yeah, I have format on save on. Is Prettier running?
The default formatter was not configured for me. I don't know if that matters for you.
Yeah, I don't have one. It's Prettier, right? You want Prettier?
Yeah.
Okay. Save. Save. Yes. There you go.
Nice one. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, part of the API is I'll leave that. I don't know what the actions are going to be for your root covenant there, but we'll install this under, if the published app name is probably Tournament, and the covenant is going to be provided as a covenant. So the div arg, just whatever you want to override with. So this allows you to effectively hot reload your covenants by telling the engine that whenever you tell me to run this covenant, I'm going to replace it with this reified version.
Right.
So that avoids you having to, I don't even want to detail what would be involved in giving you that same effect, but using genuine baked in blockchain based covenants, this is just so much quicker. Okay, can I view the page?
Yeah.
My port's forwarded?
Hold on, let me. So 6006, let me just share that one too. Okay, it should be localhost 6006.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. I have just curly brackets.
All right. Okay, so that's nice.
Which means there's nothing in it, right?
Not necessarily. It just means that the inspector didn't see anything in it. So what I've got for you is, if you open up the console,
The web console?
and the DevTools console in the Storybook tab.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just busy rearranging all my bloody windows and stuff here. And you go into CRM, so I'll get rid of the basic story because that's lame. Um, I'll rename the basic story.
Oop.
Okay, now, if you in the DevTools, you'll need to change your context from top to the frame storybook preview iframe.
Oh, I didn't know that was even in there.
Yeah, and then because Storybook's good that it loads everything in an iframe, so it's isolated, but it's bad because it loads everything in an iframe. And then the interpulse variable should be available to you. No, it's not.
Capital I? Capital I or lowercase I?
It should be lowercase I.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Okay, that means the engine hasn't loaded. Engine didn't load at all.
I can restart Storybook. That might be it. Lots of files changing. Failing at a put store? Awaiting upstream fix use patch package.
You didn't run patch package, which means that you haven't pulled this morning.
Well, I mean, it might not have run patch package anyway. Like, is it set to do that?
If you ran yarn in the root, when did you last run yarn?
I just cloned this whole entire repository like before the call because I've never done it on this computer before. So
okay, well,
I'm running it from the root again here.
Yeah, okay.
It's gonna take a while.
Oosh. Why is that so slow?
It's WSL2, I think.
Oh no. Oh damn. Okay. That is bad.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, it's just going to patch package because there's some errors upstream in libp2p
Right.
that haven't been applied yet, and I wanted the latest packages, so I patched them. And another performance optimization that I add to the IPLD patch hash map package. But anyway, I digress. So once that loads, your reducer starts loading in the Covenant. See this line 48 in engine stories.
Yeah.
That's the way that you provide initialization actions to the engine. So if it boots and it discovers it's just booted, like it didn't reload itself, it will execute these commands in order. So you can do some provisioning to get the environment how you want it. All I've done here is I've added a new chain under the app path using the installer specified by dpackage tournament. And then when I loaded the engine, I set the development overrides for dpackage tournament to be the Covenant instance, which is up here. And so you get to modify this however you like. And then the engine runs it differently each time.
Pretty hacky.
Okay, how can it be better? How do we make it better?
Well, I mean, obviously it needs to be loaded into like a real running chain system. I mean, does that make sense? Is that the way you want to do it?
Well, the trouble with running it in a real running chain is that as the dev, you can't override the reducers.
No.
Like this is a running chain. Like what's, can you tell me again what the issue you're seeing is?
Sorry. What I mean is like the code is all not actually in the payload layer yet, right?
Code is not in the payload layer, correct. Okay. And even if it was, this is how I would have imagined development would take place anyway, because the packaging step required to put the code into payload layer is too heavy to allow hot reload.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Like this is still making real blocks on IPFS,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So those blocks, like they're built in a way that's not verifiable, and that's fine.
They are verifiable. It's just self-signed.
As in, like, how would you go and run them again?
So long as you had loaded the exact same covenant, you could rerun them.
And yeah, it's okay. I'm just trying to wrap my head around all of it. I'm not saying.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, it's
This is these like this installer thing kind of feels a little bit like how you would inject stuff using Webpack with the variable rewriter, which I always thought was like fun, but also can break your brain sometimes. But you're right. This is you would want to do it this way, right? Like you would always want to build it this way.
I think, and look, I'm open to suggestions on a different interface, but I'm just like, I think the interface is the most important thing to get right. We can bend the internals to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm restarting Storybook here.
Okay, that is awesome. Did it give me the port?
It's the same port, so it should still be shared. Until 6008. Inspect. Oh, there's a lot less red here now.
You should. Is the log, can you see blocks in the log? In the console? On
No.
tab? No, okay. So it hasn't made its blocks yet, that's odd.
Now I'm getting about 1 billion failed source map warnings.
Oh dear. I'm getting a loading screen.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, here we go. We're off.
I got the same warning from Put Store.
Did it not run patch package somehow? Why would it have not run patch package?
It's in the root package JSON. Post install patch package. Do you want me to just try manually running Yarn patch package?
Yeah. Maybe it just cached a version. That's probably what happened. We need to clear the storybook cache, I would suggest.
Like delete.
If you delete the node modules within the tournament folder, then that clears the cache. I think I can do it for you. I'm not sure.
No, you can't. You can't see things that are in my git ignore from live share. Oh,
sorry, my bad. I'm off for you. Needs to be in the root if you're going to run patch package.
In the root of the whole.
The monorepo, yeah. Not that one on. No.
Well, I probably just did untold.
Yeah, that's cool. You'll need to run Yarn again.
I deleted it in the tournament, like you said.
Yeah, but didn't you just delete it right now?
No, I canceled it. It's still there.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. Sorry, the characters show up a bit overlapped for me. Like they don't update crisply.
If you, yeah, I think you probably don't have the same fonts as me.
No, I absolutely do. Powerline.
I'm set to use, I believe, Hack is the font name.
It's more that I can see the characters doubling up So when you type in backspace, it somehow comes in and out of order sometimes.
Right.
So the font display is fine. It's just the characters are not accurate. And the progress bar is not it's like the ANSI terminal clear or it's not working. And so I get a new line for each progress update.
This is the patch package result here. It gave me IPFS bit swap 15 IPLD hash map. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so if we go into the tournament package and then delete the node modules folder there and then run Storybook.
How will it run? Oh, it made the node modules again. I don't know what I'm waiting for here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right, we finally got some motion. The original authors of TCP would be horrified if they knew how their protocol is being used right now.
Are they still alive?
Yep, they got awarded presidential honor or some kind of really high honor. I don't know what's happening. I think it's still loading.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the network tab.
I think it's trying really hard to load. Oh, yeah.
There's definitely some stuff still loading.
Yeah, like it's going from me to live share. I don't even know how to trace this path.
That's a lot of source map errors.
Yeah.
Just started loading Syncer and Engine. I think we're finally actually
loading.
And I got the same error. Put store line 53. Awaiting upstream fix. Use patch package. I'm gonna go. So where is put store? Put store.
You could just it's done put store though. That's the thing.
Well, so when I look at the put store code that the browser is getting,
Yeah.
maybe I can just share my screen here. Maybe that'll help. So where it says it's throwing the error is right here. The only code that I get in put is like throw new error. So whatever the browser's seeing here seems to be incorrect.
Right. It's almost like something's been cached in the WebDOS package. Can you run the WebDOS storybook? See if that does anything, or what about running any of the loading the engine on the command line?
I could try that next.
That's really weird. It's like it's got outdated dependencies from WebDOS.
Console. Do you see the network tab when this stuff is running?
Yep.
It's going nuts.
Because the thing is, it runs fine when I run the CI build.
Good old works on my machine.
Well, no, that runs on GitHub Actions. So
I'm definitely not getting an error here, and I'm still not getting the interpulse.
yeah.
So.
Oh, you're not in the right context. You need to click on the top. So go from top.
Sorry.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
you're in. Okay, so now you can do things like that's your shell commands. You can do cd, ping, everything like that from there if you want. So if you cd to CRM, right? So now you're in.
Is there a BWD?
WD, just WD.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, why is that not working in your example?
Well, let's trace it out. Pair programming. So in God, leave. Dreamcatcher Tech Interblock. So did I actually put those in here in the dependencies? I did not. So I don't know if it knows how to find.
Yeah, like if it pulled in nested monorepo dependencies.
Like,
did you run Luna in the root?
No, I'm not running Luna right now. I'm just running Yarn. Was I supposed to run Luna?
It should have done it automatically in the root because it's a Yarn workspace.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying here? I think if I maybe want to actually import these specifically by, because it's actually Yarn that does the symlinking, right?
Yeah, supposed to.
And that's the right version. And boy, do I ever actually really like Copilot more than I thought I was going to.
It's beautiful, hey?
I'm a little scared of like what it implies, but
Well, let's hope it gets there soon, because I'm sick of writing.
Yeah.
You got to double up in your package JSON there.
I deleted one. So interblock package JSON version in here is 1011.
Yeah.
So now,
Fine.
yeah, now I've got it actually explicitly linked. I probably have to run yarn from the root again.
Yeah.
Here, though.
Oh no, if you run it, if you run it inside WebDOS, I think that's okay.
It's going quicker now that it doesn't have to download stuff.
That's still mind-bogglingly slow. Yeah, right. That's one of the good things about CodeSpaces is it's basically instantaneous because you're sitting on NPM servers, I guess.
And once more into the breach.
This is not great for the developer experience right now.
Oh, I see where you're coming from. This is like the pristine developer experience we always talked about.
At least it loads, okay.
I think Wallaby, all it does right now is tells me everything's out of date.
You will also need to click on default levels in the console log and turn that to full, or else you won't get the default levels verbose.
Verbose?
Yeah. God, that's still old, hey?
Yeah.
If you can commit that to the repo, then I can maybe pull it down and play with it some or something like that, because I can't. I don't know why it's doing that.
Oh boy. Bunch of stuff here. Yarn locks. You want me to always
Why is there a package.json in there? Did you run npm or something?
No, there is a package.json.
No, but there's package lock.json. That shouldn't be there. Oh, that'll be from when you did React scripts.
Oh, yeah, well then let me delete it. Delete. Don't worry, I will do git add dot. Oh, opening up my crazy Vim. Oh, you ever done Vim on a command line inside of VS Code? I want to get back to only using Vim because it makes me feel like I'm playing a video game.
Yeah.
Push. Like patch package. Does it? You're patching what? What are you patching? Like, where is the patch package configuration?
I will show you that.
Because what I'm wondering is if my local version of the node modules that has the dependencies in it, like, doesn't write the patched packages in there for some reason.
This is it's supposed to run after you've done the install. This is an example of this is the patches that it applies.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you run yarn install in the root, and it triggers post install, it will run patch package, which as you saw, applies those patches and reports correctly if it applied them or not.
But the things it's patching right now are all node modules in the root because they're shared.
Yeah,
between
they're
all the-
hoisted. Yeah.
And
so
there's
they
no
really
there's no chance they're not hoisted in this project.
look. I assumed that there wasn't, but yeah, I don't know how.
No,
I don't
I mean,
know how it would have not.
it doesn't look like it did. Then that's real weird. Like, because it's not possible that it should work in one project and another, not another then.
Yeah, I know. So let me just load it up locally here, and I'll see if I can get anywhere. Interesting. First foray, though.
Hey man, it's always bumpy before it's smooth.
Did you push that?
Now I did. There. Oh, fuck. No, it's a key problem. I think I have only one key here, so. You know what is an absolute nightmare to set up? Is
Interpulse.
Okay, what am I doing here? CD, SSH, LL. Yeah, so I only have one key in here. What's an actual nightmare to set up is KeyPass running on my Windows machine, feeding keys through a key agent into socket on WSL2.
Ah, Jesus, dude.
Yeah. There's like I'm a little nervous that code spaces and Gitpod and stuff are trying to overwrite the complexity of like getting a dev environment running on your local machine. I think it's kind of scary, actually.
I never want a dev environment on my local machine.
No?
No. Oh, look at that. A private key.
Are you looking at my private keys?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, I'm just seeing it come in now. Thanks. Yeah,
That's
you.
public key. Oh, wow. So I could just read your private key right there.
That's bad.
So they won't let me see node modules, but they will give me your private keys.
Please don't hack me.
I can't.
I am going to hop into my settings and just add another key here.
This tab is streaming as well. I can see it all.
InfoSec is not my strong suit, okay? New SSH key. RSA keygen. I don't know. Maybe I'm like. Maybe I need to get with the times a little bit. I've never used code spaces. I actually kind of am a little worried about how, like, what Microsoft is doing right now. Okay? trying to steal everything again.
Mm-mm.
No.
We'll get him.
I put passphrases on my RSA keys since you're just copying them into your. There, now I got a new one. Does it just try them all in order, or does it only try an ID RSA? I can never remember.
I didn't know you could have more than one in there. I thought you had to put them in the same file on just different
no.
lines.
What you can do? Oh, really? I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
can do that. Sure. Take this cryptographic system from us. It works, honest. Software supply chain auditing? No problem.
It's bad, eh? Bullshit on different lines. This thing's 30 lines long.
Well, it's only one line. It's just wrapped.
Uh-uh. Wrong again.
Well, I can't see it because they would stream it, so I'm kind of.
Thank you for doing it in a different window. Oh, does this work? Okay, CD tilde. Projects. I told you I haven't been coding enough recently. Oh, that's right. I got to take the public key and put it up too, right?
Mm-hmm. This is so much fun just to watch.
This is why I like KeyPass, because I just had one key in it. But it's like, then the breach is real bad if anyone ever gets it, you know?
Yeah. It's like fully breached or.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
No.
How did you pull it?
Is it not public?
But you must have been attached to some GitHub account. To pull it, you need to be attached to a GitHub account with your key. Not that they need you to, but it's more like probably the marketing guys were like, no, man.
Unbelievable.
Wonder if I can go into our shared session and then copy the folder. Yeah, I can. I can copy the. This is way easier. This is so much easier. Tournament, blah blah blah. Download. Yep. Thank you. That.
Maybe it's time to just learn code spaces.
I don't know if that'd help us. Oh no, it would, because your author's already pre-configured. Okay, so what I've done is I've copied the file from our the folder from our shared session and dropped it into my running copy.
I do have to go in 5 minutes.
That's all good. Okay, so.
Let's do a time check. Right? Okay.
Okay.
Do you? Probably easier if I just commit like to the repo using my other GitHub account.
That would be giving up.
Yeah.
Oh, hi there. I missed a call from you this morning. I was giving it John call. Okay. I've got a call. Yeah, tomorrow with yourself, I believe it. 1 p.m. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yes, I have my memory. Yep. Okay. Cool. That's good. Okay. Cheers. Bye. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting the same error, so that's good. I can actually reproduce it.
I am so confused which SSH key it's trying to use right now.
There was a trick for that. That is actually a famously confusing problem.
It's sshgit at github.com. Like, I know who it thinks I am, but I don't know why it thinks that. You show your local config. Doesn't have anything about me here. I wonder if I have an SSH agent running somewhere.
You're right, intercepting everything and confounding you all your efforts being programmatically defeated.
Oh, there is an agent running somewhere. Okay.
Oh dear.
I got to get this stuff on lock before I live stream. No. It's just unbelievable.
funny on so many levels.
So this is the one thing I really hate about SSH Git is like the first time it finds a key that matches, it's like, that's you. No choice.
I don't know. It's like, why don't you ask me?
Yeah, like
You
run them all.
presumptuous piece of shit. Like, come on.
Okay. SSH Git at github.com. Yeah,
Well,
woohoo!
it works. I got it working now.
Yeah, well, I finally figured out how to push it. Check.
Okay. Well, I'm. So now I've got a conflict.
Just force push it back, okay?
So yeah, I don't know. All I did was I think the browser cache may have kept it
Stupid browser. So you want me to?
because it would have been keyed. It would have been keyed by package name,
Okay.
and because we patched the package after the browser had loaded it, it did not bust the cache.
All right. So if I were
So
to go
there's-
into application, it's in cache storage.
If you go where are we? Where are you? Okay, so go into tournament. Remove the node modules folder. I do not know if this is necessary. Type in yarn to run yarn locally.
And then on the console or on the browser console, go into application
And then all you got to do is just right click on the refresh button and empty cache and hard reload.
Oh.
And then that's what got it going for me. I don't know if both those steps were necessary. I think definitely removing the node modules and rerunning it was required. And then if you're in tournament, start the storybook, reload the page, and then I think that's us.
you still want to see IPORM as an independent package? Because
Yep.
I actually do really feel like I did a ton of reading about IPLD, and I want to use it.
Okay. Oh, what are you? Sorry, what are you asking me? Like you want to inject it instead of being a separate package, put it into the core?
No, well, I mean, it kind of is in the core, right?
It is depended on by the core. I would much prefer it as a dependency rather than a peer.
Right.
You know, like rather than part of the core, because it is an isolated thing that can work. And it's only more necessary now that we've got the syncer thing, because the syncer is part of IPORM.
Well, yeah, I'd love to just start building a convention around using IPLD for as many things as possible.
I think that's the way to go, right? Like, and even if you're not making blockchains out of it, it's just the way to deal with data.
So even when you're loading stuff into the GUI, where you're currently using like JSON schema, I think you could probably do that with IPLD schema. Because it is IPLD, right? Or there's no.
You couldn't because there's a lot of nuance between JSON schema format and the way it gets displayed in the GUI.
Right.
It's a good
I
idea.
guess it's something
but
from the
it's-
perspective of IPFS, state is just anything, right?
Yeah, it's just a free-form object. Yeah. Alrighty, here we go. Here we go. Game time. Gotta get your popcorn out.
Well, that's it. I'm just gonna leave it as not just, should go past that, should- Okay, cool, bottle.
Any time now.
Yes.
Probably WSL2 screaming for more resources or some kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. They had the pressure testing equipment, I remember that, they had. it was-
Oh my God.
Correct, so that was-
Can you do the empty cache and hard reload on this window?
Any of that, whatsoever. I have no questions. How's the weather down there? Is it terrible?
I didn't. Did you just hit refresh or did you do the hard reload one?
Hard reload. If you just
Oh,
hold down on the refresh button when the dev tools are open,
Yeah.
like if you long press on it, it gives you the empty cache and hard reload.
Oh, okay. I had been using the right click all the time. Can we do this all again, but check that we ran patch package in the root? Sorry to be annoying. It works on my machine. It did this for me.
Oh, so that is just over there.
Oh boy.
If you go,
Package else.
Well, it does rain more.
that's because I typed for you a while ago.
Right now. Cool. Oh, see more on this
Um,
Yeah, sorry for asking about the refresh thing. It's just I can't see this. I can't see the screen that quickly. I just kinda
Great. I went too fast for you.
Yeah. And part of the 8x8 logo covers just a portion of that part of the viewport.
Console.
You need to go into the engine story for it to.
Oh, of course.
Now you may have to bust the cache for Storybook again, but I'm not sure.
Unbelievable, eh?
I don't know.
It's fine. You know what? I'm going to keep like messing around with it.
Okay, it works for me. It did this error. I cleared the cache on the file server,
Mhm.
and then reran Storybook, and then cleared the cache on the browser, and it worked for me. So I don't know why it's not working here.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just some proper order thing, right?
Yeah. Super annoying because you're getting an old version. You're getting an old version of the IPLD hash map dependency.
Right.
Because that method put is being called by IPLD hash map.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we call it a day
Yes.
there and hit it again tomorrow?
I'll try and get it working before then.
Is there anything I should do before to make things easier for us tomorrow, or
Why is it caching like this way? Why is it doing this?
yeah?
Like if you can put some sort of logic to it, like it'd be great to figure out. Like, but then again, it might just be the way we're pairing. Like, there's a lot of extra layers here now. Right?
There's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Maybe because I keep not closing all the tabs. Look at that.
Oh.
Watch it just be that. Okay, it's fine. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. And then see how we get on.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll speak then. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, you too.